So, well, thank you so much, Lina. I just want to thank you, first of all, to all the professors who have participated in the preparation of this webinar. Thank you for your kind invitation. I'm going to, as you have said, I'm going to spend the couple of hours with you, but I don't want to be the only one who is going to speak, even though I don't see any faces by now. But well, I pretend that it's going to be a course or 2 hours in which we can discuss, because my idea or my purpose is that to use this time to discuss with you and to rethink the way that we can think about the creation of startups and business planning and about the phenomenon of the field of entrepreneurship. So my methodology will be just I will be asking you questions, and I would like you to have your piece of paper and ball pen or just your computer. But when I'm going to ask you a question, I would like you to respond, first of all, in your computer or your piece of paper. And then I would like you to share, I don't know, in the chat, because I'm not used, I don't use normally Teams. So sorry for that. But I would like you to share in the chat. And so we can just share and discuss about the things that we are going to do. Well, do you see the slides, Lina? Because now I'm seeing people, but don't see the slide. Do you see the slide?
No, you stop sharing, Professor.
Okay.
Nuria, yeah.
So if it's something, if something grows, please let me know, because.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
I'm gonna be here.
Thank you.
Supporting you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So, well, the second thing is like my confession. I don't think that I am an expert on entrepreneurship. I'm intrigued by entrepreneurship because, well, and that's why I started to study it, because I think that is, well, it's a potential way of giving us solutions to some of the problems that we have in our world and in our societies. So I see businesses and the creation of new businesses like a tool, a potential and positive tool, an instrument to provide solutions to improve the way that we live and to improve the world in which we live. So in this context, I have divided my presentation into 3 points. Okay, first of all, well, I want to discuss with you what we are talking about when we talk about entrepreneurship or startup creation. Secondly, I will try to share with you some of the classification or typologies of entrepreneurship. So we will speak a little bit about innovation-based entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship, environmental entrepreneurship, sustainable entrepreneurship. And finally, we will talk a little bit about what we understand about entrepreneurial mindsets and a little bit of primary market research, because I think that Anthony, the professor who is going to present after me, is going to speak much more about business planning and all these things. So let's start with one question, your business idea. So what I want you to do right now is to take your piece of paper or your computer and write down in a small paragraph, what will be your business idea? If you're going to be an entrepreneur right now, what will be the business that you will create? So I'm going to give you just a few minutes. Please send just some sign in your computer to tell me that is okay. And I will, first of all, just write down in your paper, and then we will share in the chat, okay? So I will give you just 3 or 4 minutes. It doesn't necessarily that it's going to be very explicit, just the first idea that comes to your mind when you think about yourself as an entrepreneur, okay? It's difficult for me to talk to someone that I don't see and I don't listen to, but I guess that all of you are there trying to write down this idea. Thank you, Miguel. Well, normally when we are a few students, and I know the students, they used to write down their ideas in the chat, but I asking you to write down, first of all, and the answer that I'm going to ask in the following question, first of all, in your piece of paper, because normally when someone writes something in the chat, some of my students say the same, and this is the same. So I just want to avoid this kind of issue. That's why I ask you to do, first of all, in your paper, but we will share. But some of you, if you want to write there, please, thank you, because this manner I can see something. More or less, I think that we can. Thank you. So, well, I think that more or less you have an idea. I will ask you to put in the chat later, okay? But keep it in your paper. It's okay? You can say something like that or something like that. So you can, I can see that you are there, okay? Well, so let's go to the next question. We're going to start with the first part of the presentation, and the first question has to do with what are we talking about when we talk about entrepreneurship. So first or second exercise will be just the first one. The other is the business idea. We will come back to the business idea later in the second hour, okay? So now we are going to focus in some of the specific theoretical issues, okay? So first of all, I will ask you to write just one word, in one word, with which you will identify entrepreneurship. Just one word. As I told previously, first of all, just in your piece of paper, and then we will share, okay? We will come and we will put all them in the chat. It's just one word,
And
okay?
sorry, Professor Nuria, you stopped sharing your
Sorry. Okay,
slides.
thank you, Lina. Thank you, Lina. You are going to help me a lot because I think that I'm going to do this. Okay, now, can you see that?
Yes, but it's not full screen.
Now?
Yes, now, yeah.
Okay, so do you think that we have one word for all of them? One word with which you will identify entrepreneurship? It's okay? Okay, let's go to the following exercise. We are just trying to focus in what we are talking about when we talk about entrepreneurship. So the second exercise that I'm going to ask you is to write down what you consider to be the three main key elements for setting up a new business. Three, okay? The three main key elements that you consider are the most important elements in order to create your own business. The elements tools. Well, think about what is what you need when you are going to create a business. I suppose you need a lot of things, but just please prioritize 3 of them. I will ask you to write down in the chat later, okay? But just try to do this exercise by yourself. It's okay? So let's go to the next question. And it's write down what you consider to be the expected effects of entrepreneurship. It might be many, so you can choose 3 of them. Write down what you consider to be the expected effects of entrepreneurship.
Professor, you stop sharing again.
Do you think that I can share the screen and see at the same time just the participants? Because I'm not able to do that. It's okay?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay, but I cannot see the participants. I suppose that I should see or not?
Yes, you can minimize the screen and you can have both the screen at the same time. So
Okay. So I could do that. So let's go to the next. Just we have just 2 more and that's one, okay? Exercise 4. Please complete this sentence. A good entrepreneur is one who. You want to finish this sentence?
sorry, yeah, I know what is happening, Professor. You have to select the mode, how you are sharing in the presenter mode. You have like options to share. So when you go up to the screen,
Yes.
you can see the options. So you see share and go there, share. You see share content, so you can see presenter mode. Can you see? Yeah.
I just put sharing screen. That's all. And it's not the, well, the window. It's like sharing the screen or sharing the window.
Yeah. Yeah, now you can, now you can have 2 options. I think that you can.
No?
Yeah. Now we can see your screen. I think that you change the presenter mode that you had before.
You continue seeing the screen?
Now we can see the presentation and we can see
people?
We can, yeah, it's all right. It's full screen. Yeah.
Okay. So let's go to the final exercise at the beginning, okay? And this is another question for complete the sentence. Law is to justice as medicine is to health, as business is to. I don't know. Okay. Can you see it?
Yes.
So, well, now is the time, I think that is the time for you to share with me this answer in the chat. That's why it's for me important to control this screen and the chat, because I want to see the answers now. And we are going to start with this last question, okay? So I just want to write down what is your final part of this sentence in the chat. So really what you have written. No? Law is to justice, as medicine is to health, as business is to. As business is to. Success, I'm reading success. It could be an answer. Economic. Paola Terni say economic. Society, María del Carmen Blanco. Macau. Ahora. Business is to success. Make a profit. Prosperity. Growth. Economy. To social economic development. Flow. Success. Financial health. More? I know that there are 62 participants, so we'll continue, yes, sharing with us social well-being, financial health, success. Lina.
Yes.
Lina, the participants can talk when they want, no? They can just use their microphone and talk. Well, we use the chat, but
yes.
Okay.
Yes, just to remind you, all of you, that you can also talk. You can activate the microphone if it's okay for you. Don't be shy.
Okay, so they can do by themselves. They can activate the microphone and just put the camera on if they want. So we can share with our face-to-face the things grow. Well, there are some things that are repeated. Growth. When I keep dropping, I see now you. Income. Reyes. Grow. Social well-being, financial health. Well, there are some things that are repeated. Growth, success, which for me is strange. My students normally don't respond with success. Economy. Well, it will be interesting also to have another webinar to speak only about the success and what we can understand as business success, because it's not an easy thing just to define what we can understand by success. There is a part that it can be objective, but there is also a part that is subjective. For me, success could be I don't know, just to make some profit, but also to have some time to enjoy with my family. And for other entrepreneurs, it might be another thing. So success is not an easy word to define or to identify. But what I see when we can just review the different responses, is that, well, even though all of us know what we are talking about when we talk about business, this is not like a class of physics that only professor of physics understand. About business, everybody can speak, but it seems that there is no clear conception about what is the purpose of business. Because at the end, behind this sentence, when we talk about law is to justice as medicine is to health, which seems that is very clear for all of us, when we talk about business, it's not totally clear, because some of them say make a profit, but some of them see the social side of the business and they say society or business well-being or prosperity, which is more general. So if we are not able to come with just a common response, so you can imagine that the way that we think about business is going to be different, because the purpose that we have about business previously in our mind is different. There are things that are repeated, but there are different things also. Even though philosophy, you see here philosophy. So as business is to philosophy, as business is to life, imagine. So business is to well-being. So there are a lot of things that are around business, and it makes us think that it is time to rethink the way that we think about business. So, and to try to clarify why is it that a business is important? Why should be promoting all the time the creation of business if we don't have a clarity of mind concerning what is the purpose of the business, why we are going to create business? Is it that all the business are going to be good? It is that all the business are going to be successful, good for me or good for all the society? So these are some of the questions that we should keep in mind in order to go deeper in the purpose and in our conception about business. Okay, so well, we have several responses here. Let's go to the first question. The first question or the first exercise. As I told you, the things of the business idea will come later. But now the question was, please write one word with which you will identify entrepreneurship. So now is the time for you to write down this word in the chat. What will be that word? So my question is, when you think about entrepreneurship, what is the first word that comes to your mind? It is not necessary that come, the theoretical or the good answer according to the books. No, it's what do you think about entrepreneurship? What is your first words, the first word that comes to your mind? So I'm reading now management, passion, business, disruption, courage, communicate, disruption, courage, communicate, authentic, solution, very good, hard work, very good, business, innovation, sustainability, communicate, well, I'm not sure if all of the participants are coming from the same class or from different contexts, because this also can, condition the way that you respond to the questions. Freedom, resilience,
Professor, all of them or all of us are from different backgrounds, different universities, bachelor degrees, masters, PhD. Yeah.
Different countries? Yeah.
Yes, different countries. We have Ukrainians partners, we have Greek partners from Greece, Spain, Finland, Germany. So, yeah.
Great. Great.
Multicultural.
Okay, yes, great. It was difficult.
African also.
Oh,
So,
perfect. So it was difficult for me just to imagine, the profile of the people who were going to attend this. And that's why I was a little lost with these things. Work 24 hours a day, that is a good answer. Business leadership, freedom. So as you see, also there are different words that come to our way of life. This has to do with work 24 hours a day also. So there are different words that come. Very good. Job-bearing relationship. That is a very good answer. And that's where I wanted to arrive, So there are many things and many words that can be associated with the word entrepreneurship. So the first thing that you can imagine is that it is a very complex reality, okay? Because there are many things that are associated with entrepreneurship. And they come from the economic dimension, but also from the social and also from the personal dimension. I am reading also pronunciation, challenge, okay? So, well, I summarize just here some response. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I don't want to lose you. Now, I just want to see this, okay? It's a challenge for me.
Yeah, stop sharing. Yeah. Would you like, if you want, I can share for you and
yes.
Yeah,
okay.
Oh, yes,
please.
I'll do it.
So yes, and I would like to have, but I would like to have in my screen also the chat of the people because I want to read what they write. And now I cannot do it.
Okay, give me 1 sec, please.
Are you there, Lina?
Yes, I'm sharing the screen right now.
Well, I just see my PowerPoint, but I don't see people. It's okay? Can I see the people?
Yes, you can move now and you can control your themes any way that you want. It's okay.
It's okay. Okay, now I can see that. It's okay? But
oh, sorry. Yeah.
We are in just the slide.
Yes.
13. It's okay? No, 13. Yes, go. Oh, there. It's okay. There?
Okay, just let me know.
Yes. Okay, now, thank you. So now all of you can see the other slide, no? And I have in my screen this and the other. Okay. So I just wrote down some of the words that normally come to the mind of my students, my own mind when we talk about entrepreneurship. Some of them have two roots now, some of them no. For example, problems is just something that is completely associated with entrepreneurship because entrepreneurship has to do with a tool, an instrument, a way to solve problems. So at the root of a business, there must be a problem or need, something that is not solved or is not solved completely well, or it can be solved in a better way. So that's why someone creates a business, to provide a better solution and to improve the context in which the business is going to work. So preferences, resources, entrepreneurs, ideas, innovation, creativity, responsibility, ethics, environment, markets, people, judgment, interpretation. Of course, something, I don't know if it was in this question or in the previous question, but someone spoke about philosophy. And it has to do also about interpretation. So because entrepreneurs need to interpret the reality in a, let's say, in an original manner. So they can, entrepreneurs do, try to do some connections that other people don't see. And that's why they provide something with more value, you know, time and contingencies. Because entrepreneurship has to do with problems, has to do with uncertainty, has to do with contingency. So, one thing is that what you plan when you are trying to create your business, and the other thing is going to be the reality that normally is going to be quite different of the things that you have previously thought. So contingency is a topic that is coming to this field, the entrepreneurship field, and it's important to have, for example, what has happened with the pandemic, no? So you have all these things planned, your business is working well, and in just 1 second, everything changed, and you need to invent or to reinvent the way that you are going to do your business, no? So contingency is something that also it is important to take into account, and also relationship. This is the answer that, well, one of the participants gave us, and I will insist in that. So you can pass, Lena, you can put the following slide, which in which I want to emphasize the thing of relationships. You see, people, and this red person in the middle, and which represent the entrepreneur, because business has to do with relationship. It's all about relations between the entrepreneur and employees, entrepreneur, other stakeholders. It's relationships between the some resources. It's relationships between, you know, all the things, the productive process, whatever. So it's something that normally is not emphasized, but I would like to emphasize, because at the end, the most important thing is this relationship that you are creating around the business, inside the business and outside the business. So it should we should make us think about the importance that have for us to be able to develop good relationships with all around us. So at the end, we need to create relationships and try to provide the things that other people want. So we need to be very good in the social relationships. Normally, I give, I teach entrepreneurship in the School of Engineers, and my students used to emphasize the things of the products and the service, like, like business has to do with a particular product, but business is much more than a product. Of course, without a product or a service, there is not a business. You need to materialize your idea in a product, in a concrete product or service, because you need to give something to the customer so they can buy something and you can make a profit out of it. But a business is much more than that. So you can have a perfect model or a perfect product, technologically, even a product which is perfectly from the financial point of view. But if you are not able to create the perfect team, the perfect relationship, the perfect context for that product to work, it's going to be difficult to work. So A business is a product and a service that is much more than that. It's not only that, okay? So let's go to this next exercise, Lina. Exactly. So now I want you to share in the chat what you wrote about the 3 main key elements for setting up a new business. We are generalizing a lot because you know that every business can be different, because if we are talking about business in terms of relationships, we are talking about business as, you know, part of the humanity, and we are infinite people. So there must be infinite, business, kind of business. But if we want to summarize or emphasize the main key elements for setting up a new business, what will be your answer? Okay. See, Janelle, Susanna say business idea, funding, and skills. It's very good. Innovation plan, funding. Perfect. Innovation, idea, work, and social skills. Perfect. Need, innovation, contacts. Perfect. Business plan, capital, personal. Need, vision, and solution. Business plan, flexible, adaptable. Team, very good. Drive, passion for the long haul, perfect. Funding, idea, desire, resources, very good, okay? Yes. Connections, capital, idea. Solution, vision, and needs, say Lola. Good business idea, very good, because it's not just a business idea, it must be good. Right attitude, very good. Good plan, how to go forward, very good. Personal, very good. Idea and capital. Okay, yes, people, capital, idea, perfect. Idea, money, knowledge. Product, value, funding. Personal, idea, resources, people. So I think that this question, we all agree much more in these questions. If there are 3 elements, there must be an idea, there must be resources, and there must be people. Okay, these people, capital, idea. I agree with you. Okay, so if we go to the following slide, Lina. So you can see it can be summarized as entrepreneurs, which is people, idea, opportunity, business model, and resources. Okay. The point of highlight these 3 key elements is that there are many misconceptions with respect to the elements that are necessary to create a business. For example, there's a common narrative that they speak in terms of business, or they say that the most important element is the entrepreneur. Okay, you have written about that, entrepreneur, but no, you have spoken, you have written something about personal, which is much more plural, and people, which is plural. And this is much more correct, because the common narrative about the creation of business is that there is an entrepreneur, which is portrayed like an individual hero who is going to create a business which is very successful and technological and whatever. For example, think about Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Elon Musk. So at times people think about one element is the entrepreneur in singular, but the truth, if we go deeper to read the reality of the story, we see that entrepreneurs by themselves don't create business, but entrepreneurs in plural, that is people, teams create business. And it says that the greater is the team, it seems that there are more possibilities of success. So a business is not created by one entrepreneur by himself. There is always a team. If it is formalized, or informal. The entrepreneur is never alone. So, of course, and a context, the entrepreneur is like I am myself and my circumstances. So it all depends who you are, who is the people who is around you, who is going to conditionate the business idea that you are going to have. No? So, of course, if there are a team who is going to create a business, you can imagine that we need to be very good in relationships, because the first element is going to be a team. So we need to deal with our team and to become friends, but good friends, not bad friends, good friends with our team. So this is going to be the first key elements for a business work. And we all know how difficult it is to relate with other people, to understand. Even my friends is so difficult. How we need to build a trust, which is so difficult. How important is to persevere in the growth of this trust within the members of the team. There are many businesses that are successful, but they need to close because of there are, problems among the members of the team. So we need to be aware of these things. And the main element beyond our products and beyond our service is that we are able to create a good team, a team who is going to, I think is going to be part of this business, okay? And it's, at times it's going to be the key element who is going to differentiate, is going to provide the difference between your business and other business, okay? So one element is the people, entrepreneurs, the context, I myself and my circumstances. Another element you have said is the idea. You say the idea, business idea. Of course, we need to have an idea, first of all, an idea, and then an opportunity, which there is a distinction between idea and opportunity. An opportunity is an idea, but it's an idea that is attractive and that is appropriated for a particular moment of the time. It's not just an idea, and it's an idea that can be materialized in a product of the service that you can provide to a customer, because an idea can be something more abstract that you have just in your mind, like a concept, okay? But it's an abstract issue, something that is there, but then you need to put this in concrete words, and then you need to put this in a concrete material, in something that can be tangible, that you can sell. So this is the opportunity and the business model, okay? This business strategy that the entrepreneur has to make a profit, okay? This is the business model. And the third element is resources, you have said also. But, well, you have said capital. This is one of the resources. When we talk about personal, you say there, one of you say personal. Personal is another kind of resources, human resources. So in this part of the, including in this part of the element, resources, we can include financial capital, okay, financial capital. I interpret when you say capital, you are referring to financial capital, but there is also social capital, which is very important because we are talking about business in terms of relationship. So some of you say, well, one key element is to have relationship and social capital, to whom you are known, or what is the people that, who is the people that you know, what people is knowing you. So it's financial capital, social capital, human capital, okay? When you say personal there, it could be included here. Human capital, the personal that you need. It could be different from the entrepreneurs and the team. So one element is the entrepreneurs and the teams, other is just the human capital, the people that you are going to hire for working with you, okay? So financial resources, social resources, human resources, even cultural resources. What is going to be the culture that you are going to create in your business? And in some books also, they speak now about even spiritual resources. What is the spirituality of your business? Okay, so within resources, even though normally it tends to be associated with financial resources, it's not the only thing, okay? Financial resources is not the only thing. And I will say that it's not also the most important thing, because if you have a good network of relationships, if you will have social capital, social relationship, they can help you to get the financial resources that you need. So when people say, no, I'm not going to create a business because I don't have the financial resources, it will not be correct, okay? Because the financial resources are not the only resources important. If you have, for example, social resources, as I said, so it will be a way to get the financial resources that you need, okay? So we leave this question with clarity, I hope. So let's go to the next question. The exercise 3 was write down what you consider to be the expected effects of entrepreneurship. So what did you write there? When we create a business and we are trying to promote, to stimulate that people, all the people create now business, what is that we are expecting out of this business? Profit, success, or work. I understand that this is just the response to the response for the third question, okay? The effects, profit, success, hard work. This is the mira, tontilla. More things? You can put in the chat, okay? Economic growth, creating job opportunities, global operation. Profession, connections, financial success, responsibilities, very good. New job creation, engaging work, economic growth, expansion to new markets, improved happiness, very good. Of citizens in the countries, that is good. Cooperation, results, profit, economic growth, problem solving, perfect. Social impact, perfect. Economic growth, for employees, sustainable business development in the region, profit, employment, recognition, very good, recognition, yes. Financial stability, hard work, freedom, economic growth, satisfaction, profit, social effect for employees, sustainable business development in the region, economic growth, very good, freedom, hard work, opportunity to influence, yes, recognition, yes, it's true. Development, connections, trade, profit, hard work, results. Development, connections, trade. Profit, hard work, result. Clients, partners, resources. So, of course, so it must be something very good when there is so much institution, so much people that are trying to promote the creation of new business. So this must be very good. And you are just identifying all the goodness that we can get out of the business: prosperity, growth, customer, excitement, clients, partners, resources. So, yes, so I think that we are just agree with most of the things that you are saying. Social recognition, development, economic growth. Now I see this in another part. Profit, communication, satisfaction. So let's review what I just summarized, Lina, in the next slide. Well, it's some of the questions that you are reading. Hard work, thinking, very good. Marianne, very good. Development, economic growth, satisfaction, social recognition, very good. Hard work and thinking. Yes, thank you. So I just summarize some of the well, effects that we are expecting when we talk about entrepreneurship. As some of them that you have identified: connections, holidays, exciting. So I just wrote there: economic wealth, innovation, employment, new business opportunities, new activities, new solutions, you said, and even new people. This also is a good issue, because financial stability, income, profit. So you see how many things are coming out of a business. It's just like a regeneration of the economic system. It's a regeneration of the economic context, but it's also a regeneration of the society in which we live, because we are providing, suppose that this long day, new people, hunger groups, exactly, there are also bad things. But this is not what people expect when they are trying to promote, but this is some of the result, okay? So problem solving, perfect. Problem solving. I wanted to also to insist in the issue of new people also, because it's not just that things are changing, but people who are involved in the business are going to change also. We as entrepreneurs change after the experience that we have lived as entrepreneurs, but also the people that you are going to relate to. Because imagine you can hire some people, that people is going to work with you, and then they leave or whatever, but you are shaping the way that they do, because part of the culture of your business is going to be, at the end, it's going to be part of the culture of the people. No, we are, or what we are, we reflect in the place where we work. The place where we work affects the kind of people that we are. So business is going to be also an instrument, not just to produce objective things like wealth, innovation, employment, opportunities, new businesses, but also new people. We are changing the way that we live. Is depending on the business that we have. Now we all just walking in the streets with our mobiles, just looking at the mobile phones and not looking at the sky and all these things. So business are changing the way that we live. Business are changing the way that we are. So this is also another important thing. Okay, so let's go to the next question. I think that it was the last one. A good entrepreneur is... Let's see. Now you write down the end of the sentence that you wrote. A good entrepreneur is one who... What will be the end of this sentence? Creates wealth. A good entrepreneur is one who creates wealth. Okay. One who commits. Very good. Evolves. Who creates a workplace not only for himself, but also for other members of the community. Very good. Develops. Solves problems. Who knows what he wants. Does not give up. Very good. Has a mindset to fail. Very good. Learn from failures. Relearn. Very good. And try again. I love that. Create solutions. Make right decisions to improve profit and social image of his company. Vision is one. It's one who is not afraid of failure, and most importantly, despite losses, continues to work. Very good. Learn from mistake. Very good. Is ready, so it can fail, okay, but learn from mistakes. Is ready to take risk, not afraid to fail. Very good. Co-create solutions with the customer. Perfectly. Looks for solution. So it's a solver problem, something like that. Problem solving, exactly. So, self-confident, creates, flips, changes, generates. Reads ethical values, helps the customer build the vision of new capabilities. Help the customer build the vision of new capabilities. Has a good business idea that's market relevant and means to grow their business. Who sees challenges as joke. Oh, that is good. Bajo en el marco thinking. Challenges as joke. It sees problem like opportunities, which is the same. Challenges as joke. So, a good entrepreneurs, we see that it's not only a person who has good plans, but it's someone who makes things. Okay? See, Charles, an entrepreneur is not a businessman, he is an innovator. Okay, there's that distinction. This ethical value. So what we see, communicate, sell, focus, and strategize. I need to just go. So what we see is that it's not a person who is only focused on thinking, but it's a person who is also focusing doing things. It's doing things. In fact, some of the entrepreneurs has been identified as doer, not only as planner, even though we have paid much attention to the business plan and to the plans and what we think before we create the business. But when we think about good entrepreneur, it is clear that it's not just a person who only think, but it's a person who does things. Resolve problems, how to say, see challenges as a joke, do things, okay? So it's like it's a doer. It's like it's like actions speak louder than words. So it's actions. One thing is just to think and to speak and to sell with your words, but at the end of the day, what you need to do is things. You need to do things. It's a person who is in the present moment, is acting, doing things, and that is it's a crucial part to highlight, because we are not the same people when we are planning to do something than when we are doing something. We can plan something and we can imagine the best strategy to introduce my products in the market, but then in the reality, I just find some contingency, some problem, and I need to change my mind faster and maybe to make a decision that I didn't think previously. So we have to keep in mind this, this view of entrepreneurs as doer, and the issue that even though we are the same person, we are not the same when we are planning than when we are acting. So this distinction is also important to keep in mind. So, well, we go to the next slide. Thank you, Lina. So it's a person good. We speak about good entrepreneurs, have good purpose, but not only good purpose, make the right things, make the best decision, and for all. It's not just, some of you say that, make good things for the society, for the market. It's not just for myself, because it's only for myself, what good I'm doing with my business for society. So it's just this idea that make the best decisions, take into account not only myself, but all the people, all the stakeholders, the society, the employees, the government institutions, all the group of people, the group of interests that are going to be associated with the business in some manner, okay? So, thank you, Lina. So if this is, well, if we are going to talk about entrepreneurship and about entrepreneurs about in terms of people who do things, you can imagine entrepreneurship has to do with that practice. And if we look at our society, we can see many practice, entrepreneurial practice with clarity. So it means that there are a lot of typologies of entrepreneurship. So I try to summarize some typologies, but in the reality, you can just find many kind of business. So when we, at the end of the day, we want to answer the question, what is that entrepreneurs do? So to try to study this, we need to be analytical and divide in groups. But the reality is much bigger, okay? It's much more complex than what we can speak here. So, but taking into account this issue, some of the typologies are the following. Go to the next slide. This is a typical division of business or entrepreneurship. SMI or IDE, SME or IDE, small and medium enterprise and innovation driving enterprise. This is a typical classification. The main distinction, the main element that distinguishes both of them is going to be the market. For example, the market is small and medium enterprise tend to focus in local markets, while innovation-driving enterprise go beyond local markets. They go to global markets, international markets. So this is a key distinction between the two of them. But also, as you can see in this graphic, the evolution that they follow in time. You see here, the beginning is much more difficult for innovation-driving enterprise. And these are typical the technological enterprise. So it's supposed that they need a lot of investment and they need, it's supposed more time to develop the technology that they need to create the product that they are going to sell. And that's why at the beginning, they have this cash flow, you know, negative cash flows. But then once that they just achieve this balance, they grow much faster. Okay, you see this. And when we focus in a small and medium enterprise, they focus in local markets, and you see the cash flow is like the core of the cash flow is like more is different. They started to get cash flows earlier because they don't invest too much, so they don't need they don't need as much income as the innovation-driving enterprise to cover all the costs, okay? But then they stabilize in the time, while innovation-driven enterprise just grow much more faster, okay? This is one of the typical classifications. So first of all, is take into account the market and the growth. And go to the following, we go to the following. Another typology is just take into account the kind of problems that they solve, okay? Well, a key distinction has been also in the past between business for profit and business for non-profit. You see that in the past, there was a clear view and a clear distinction between what was the business for profit and for non-profit. But now, this distinction is being more less clear. It's being just more like it's not clear in the sense that all the business now speak that they are going to, well, many businesses are going to work for making profits, but also to, to provide good for society, good for the environment. So is these all social and environmental issues that are coming to the essence of all kind of business. Previously, it was not like that. Okay, it was the business just focus on profit, making profit, and not focus on the social dimension. But now this is more, is more intervened. So in this context, we can talk about social entrepreneurship, environment entrepreneurship, sustainable entrepreneurship. I don't know if I think that you can imagine social entrepreneurship. They put the social mission of the business as a priority. They want to meet social needs that have not met previously by other business or institutions or non-profit organizations. So the focus is going to be in the social issue. Well, here you have an example of a business that is a social business, Better World Books. Of course, there are a lot of businesses that are now called social business. The main point is that they don't have as a priority making a profit, but to meet a social problem that has not been met previously, okay? If we talk about environmental and sustainable entrepreneurship, we go to the following. Thank you. So now you see, for example, environmental sustainability or environmental entrepreneurship, they try to balance the economic and environmental issue. Okay, social, it was the main issue was social. Social more important than profit. Environmental, it was the balance, environment and economic. And sustainable is environmental, social, and sustainable. They try to create all these things, all this balance. But you see, well, in this kind of narrative, there is, this kind of goal of trying to make the business a good thing, try to emphasize the goodness of the business, not just for making a profit for the entrepreneur and the inner stakeholder, but also for society, for the place in which the business is going to be created, the environment, the context, okay? So we go to the following. And this also is another kind of business that in the past year, we have been witness of growth of this kind of business. I don't know if you have heard about business on purpose or business-led or on purpose organization, something like that. And they emphasize that they are business who have a higher purpose in terms of ethical and moral purpose. Okay, they are called business on purpose because they make of the moral dimension of the business the priority that go beyond the economic purpose. Or I don't know if you have heard about these things of entrepreneurship doing well while doing good. So we are doing well and doing good to people, to all the people around. So at the end of the day, what you hear is a narrative in which business, in essence, is going to be something good. Okay, it's what now we can hear in all the narratives. Business is good. They have good purpose. They try to provide solutions to the complex problems that have not been met before, and so on. But there is a problem with this assumption, which I wanted to make clear. We go to the next. Well, this is an example. Well, an example of purpose-led organization. What they are doing, Café Direct, okay? And they define themselves as purpose-led organization. Imagine, it's like a little strange because, of course, all the business have purpose. You need to have a purpose. It might be not clear, as we have seen in the previous exercise. It might not be a clear purpose, but all the business has a purpose. The point now is that they are saying that they are purpose-led organization, just to highlight that they have higher purpose. So higher purpose. they're like in a higher dimension. They don't look for profits and that's all, but they just look for make the world a better place. Okay, so and it means that the world after my business must be much better than it was without my business. This is the idea. But as I say, there is some problem in this kind of narrative because at the end of the day, we continue dividing the field, doing classification of entrepreneurship, of business, classify them into new categories and typologies, and considering that all of them are goods. So we assume the goodness of the business as a, as a priority, because we are social entrepreneurs, because we are environment entrepreneurs. We tend to associate our green activities with good activities. Our good intentions, good social intention with our good actions, which maybe are not going to be the same. Because one thing is what we think to do, another thing is what we will be able to do when the times come. So this is the problem that is important to think about. We are talking about social entrepreneurship, we are talking about environmental entrepreneurship, but be careful. It doesn't mean that we are ethical business, and that's all. Because we are green, because we are doing green activities, or we are working in the social context, it doesn't mean that we are going to work always as ethical business. And I say also is the power of good intention and purpose to lead me to an ethical identification is also a problem, because maybe you are a very good social business, but maybe you are mistreating your employees, or you are doing something wrong to your society. So it cannot be identified as an ethical business if you are not treating well to your employees, even though you are just selling the best green products. Do you understand me? This is the key issue. And in this context, I would like to mention, go to the next slide. This professor, Richard Thaler, who won, he won the Nobel Economic Prize in 2017 because his work in behavior economics. And he wrote several books, but this book is Misbehaving. It's a nice book in which he identified, well, he doesn't speak directly about ethical issues, but he identified, or he divided all the society or all the people into two kinds of people. And he speak about econs, or people with econ mentality, and humans, people with an human mentalities, almost economics and human naturalists. And he identified these two kind of people with planners and doers. So planner, it will be like homo economics, which is the traditional figure, the traditional abstract figure that economic theories have used in their theories, okay, to do the predictions. It's like, well, economists is the, homo economics is the person who you think that is going to behave in the rational way, making the right selection, the right decisions, taking into account all the alternatives, and being able to prioritize correctly what are the best decisions because they have the whole information that they need. And these are all the kind of the assumptions that are identified with the homo economics. But Richard Thaler tells us that this is like an ideal figure, that in reality we are humans, and how humans behave is quite different than how we think that economists behave. So even though we are trying to do our best and try to choose the best alternatives among the different options, at the end, when we are going to make a choice, we can fail. Why? Because the reality is that we don't have the whole information that we need when we are going to make a decision. we have information today, but tomorrow we have new information, who is going to change the way that we think about the problem that I thought yesterday. So then also he said that, well, we are human, and even though I'm a rational person, I'm also an emotional person. So even though I try to do my best, when I'm in a problematical situation, I can fail because I'm emotional and I feel fear, or I don't see the things with the clarity that I saw when I was planning and thinking in my desk. So, and that's why he speak about, hey, be careful, because we all have this like division mind. We are planners sometimes, but we are doers sometimes, and we are not behaving the same way when we are planners and when we are doers. So associating this with the ethical problem is that we think that we are going to be good. We want to do our best solving these social problems. We want to do our best just addressing these environmental problems and creating these products and service to meet that needs. But this is what we want to do. But when we are doing, we may fail. Why? Because we are human. Because we are human and vulnerable, and we can fail. And this is an important issue. So even though the entrepreneur is normally portrayed like a hero who is going to do everything okay and everything well, and he's going to bring all the big and good effects that we have identified, wealth, whatever. One of you say bankrupt, so things can go wrong, and it can be a possible result, and we need to be aware of that. So it is important that we don't see entrepreneurs like heroes, but like a human people who can fail, even though they don't want, of course. But as people, we can fail. So this is an important point that I wanted to highlight. And an example, yes, we go to the next slide. I just brought this example. I don't know if you have heard about this company, Theranos, and this woman, Elizabeth Holmes. You can say yes, no, put or something in the chat on just to discuss and to know if you know a little bit about this Theranos. It was an American company. Well, Elizabeth Holmes, she dropped out the University of Stanford when she was 19 years old in order to create her own business. It is a typical American dream. She she was called the second Steve Jobs. She dropped out the university, and they tried to create this business to do blood tests. The business was going to do blood tests with new technology that she's going to design. So it was like an innovation-driven enterprise. She was needing a lot of money at the beginning, investment, to develop the technology that is going to create the product that she has in mind. And it was, well, she was saying that with the technology, it was like with fingerprint prick, and a small amount of blood, she could do all the tests to identify some illness, even though cancer. So it was a very good idea, and everybody was crazy with this idea. So I was just supporting her. And in a few years, Theranos, it was the name of the company, was valued with $9 billion. Imagine, well, I put just a couple of images of her in the journals Fortune and Forbes, because she was identified like the richest, youngest woman, person, entrepreneur in the world in one moment. For this idea, and imagine, she has not sold anything yet. It was just the idea, and just telling that she was developing this technology. But what happened was that the technology didn't work. So it didn't work. But she continues saying that her technology was working. And at the end, she was hiring a technology that was there in the market for doing her test, blood test, but she was just lying to everyone, and to patients, stakeholders, employees, whatever. So at the end, she was accused. This year, maybe just before the summer, it was the judgment in this year, and she was sent to prison, and she's going to spend 13 years in prison. There has been a book, Bad Blood, and even a series, and I don't know if I feel a series, Drop Out, in which is the history of this company is told very clear. The point that I want to bring when I come with this example is that it was a typical innovation-driven enterprise. Well, if you are curious and look for some information about her, you will see how powerful she became. She was meeting with Bill Clinton. Yes, exactly. She was meeting with Bill Clinton, with the current president, American president, with a lot of politicians. Everybody was supporting them because, in fact, everybody wants an hero, someone who is going to solve the problems of the society. So it's like when some idea comes like that, everyone wanted to help and make her very famous. But at the end, she fell in the actions. So we don't know what happened in the way. She had good intentions, but she was not able to fulfill that good intentions. This is a typical issue that happened also in the entrepreneurial context, because it seems like because you need to sell your business, you can lie a little bit and say, well, I will have these products, I will have this. But, and it becomes like a normal rule, informal rule within the business context. But with this example, it has been shown that it's very problematic to lie within the entrepreneurial context, because you believe that you are doing something right for your company, but at the end, you are just damaging all the entrepreneurial context and even your society, because the trust in companies are affected because of this ethical failure. So we need to be aware that our business is going, and how we are going to deal with our business are going to affect not only ourselves, but also the whole business context. So this is an issue that, we need to be aware, and it doesn't matter that we are social business, environmental business, innovation-driven enterprise, that we are just expecting the best of them, purpose-led organization, we hire purpose. No, it doesn't matter. We are just planners. The point is when we are going to do and what we are going to do with a problem, an economic problem or whatever it comes to. And it will come, because as you say in your chats, an entrepreneur is at solving problems. So the only thing that is going to be sure in your business is that you are going to have problems, many problems, and different problems every time. So you need to keep going, solving problems all the time. And how are you going to solve this problem, to challenge this contingency, to face these challenges, that are going to come to your life? So it's every day it will be like an exam. You cannot say that you are an ethical business, but every day you need to demonstrate it with your actions, not just with your words or with your good intentions, that you are doing well. As I said before, actions at the end speak louder than words, no? And at the end, these actions were reflected in all that she did. And now it's coming to my mind another example with the cryptocurrency. Have you heard about that? It's also another example of this kind of innovation-driven enterprise, which are called unicorn. unicorn. You see the unicorn enterprise that are growing very fast at the beginning, but at the end, it failed also. It was TFX, I think that it was a name, this crypto currency. And another that is coming to my mind was WeWork. I don't know if you have heard about the business WeWork. It was also another American business that it was selling like the best solution for everything, but it was just like selling, renting the office to other. And it was also a difficult or a strange case of failure, ethical failure also. So let's continue going. How we can resolve this problem? Well, I will not say that there is a solution, but the thing is that we need to be aware that the problem is there. So the more you're aware of your fragility and your vulnerability, you will be able to behave in a better way, just paying attention to your possible mistakes. So I say, yes, we need to pay attention to the ethical dimension, to the interdependency between business and society. It's not separated. What I do right and wrong to my business, I'm doing to the society in which I am. We are connected. The understanding of business and encounter of persons. So if we are talking about relationships and business as relationship, you know, how relationships work in your personal life is the same in the context of the business. You enjoy your personal relationship when you trust your friends. The same with the business. Your business goes well if you trust in your stakeholder. But when you lose the trust, it is very difficult to regain the trust again. You know, it's difficult. Trust is something that it's very hard to build. And once it's lost, it's very difficult to recover. So the same that happened in your personal relationship, think of them in the business. And also I have highlighted the issue of the anthropological foundation, which means that to take into account, if we are talking about business as a relationship, we need to take into account what is the understanding of human beings that we have. Is the almost economics, this person who is going to be optimizer, who is going to be a very rational, who is going to make always the right decisions because know everything that you need to know to create your business, or is going to be a human being with all your capabilities, but also with your fragilities as a human being, vulnerabilities, with your ignorance, because we don't know everything, who planned or who could do the prediction of a pandemic or earthquake. Nobody. So there are going to be things that happen in your life, in your business, that cannot be, foreseen previously. So we need to be aware of this human fragility and don't see ourselves entrepreneurs as heroes who can do everything. No, it's just human. Okay, that's why I speak about Anthropological Foundation. Thank you, Lina. So, then we will go to the last point, in which we will speak about entrepreneurial mindsets and primary market research. Well, I think that we don't have all the time, but it's okay. So, well, just a little bit about entrepreneurial mindset. What will be the entrepreneurial mindset? We go to the next slide, Lina. Thank you, Lina, for your help. Yes. So when we speak about entrepreneurial mindsets, there are two things. Well, there are many things, and some of them you have identified before. But it's about recognizing and acting on opportunities, making decisions with limited information, and remain adaptable and resilient in conditions that are uncertain and complex. This is said by Barrett, Chancellor for Entrepreneurship at the Western University of Technology. So you have said about the entrepreneur or entrepreneurial mindset, because even though I have been speaking about entrepreneur as someone who is going to create a new business, the truth is that nowadays, to all of us, we are all required to be entrepreneurs or to have an entrepreneurial mindset in terms of to be able to recognize and acting on opportunities to be able to make decisions, even though if I'm in an institutional context, as a university, it is required of me to have initiative to solve problems, to be creative with the limited information that I have. So it's this entrepreneurial mindset that are asking to all of us. It doesn't matter where we are going to work, but we need to be solution oriented, something that you have identified. In a business, what you are going to find for sure are problems. So what you need to do is to come up with solutions, and not the same solution that you were using yesterday or the year before, but you need to come with new solutions because the problems are also new. So you need to be solution oriented and look for this solution, and adaptable. An entrepreneur is say that is the person who is leading to adapt to what other people want. You need to listen to your customer, and you cannot say, no, this is my product, this is what I want to sell. No, you need to listen to them and try to adapt what you are doing to their needs. Because if you don't have a customer, and a customer who is going to pay for your product, you don't have a business. So you need to have a customer and a client. And for that, you need to adapt, to be adaptable to the context. Now it's a crisis, now things are going good, now I have more competition, now I don't have competition. It's like to catch a criminal. You have to think like a criminal, or it's too hard like that, not to think like a criminal. I can say also that it's like an angel, and think that okay, I need to think in the goodness of others. I will not say like a criminal. I more say like an angel. But in any case, a business has been also identified with something that is very bad. No, you see all this bankrupt, but for me the point is not the issue of business. I'm teaching business, and I cannot say that business is something wrong. I belong to the business organization department, and I not say that business is wrong. What it can be wrong or right, it could be the moral conscience of the person who is behind the business making the decisions. So a person, because we are people, human, we can be as good as a saint or as bad as a demon. If we are going, and depending on how we are going to be, and the institutions in which we are going to work, if it is a business or whatever, it's going to be reflected in that. So of course, from our part, we need to think in the best of the business. I will not say we need to think like a criminal. No, we need to think like a good people, good, and try to do the good for others. Because as long as you try to do the good, I think that something good is going to happen. Something good always happen, and the other people, it's like you are going to create role models and to create confidence and trust if you are trying to be good. And the trust is like the key issue for a business to work, for a business to succeed. If you will have customer, if your customer trusts in you. But trust is not something that you can buy and say, okay, I'm going to buy like this, I don't know, this technological product, and I'm going to put in my company. Trust is something that you need to build in yourself with time. So I will trust in your business if I'm able to trust in you as a person. And for that, you cannot lie, of course, because people will notice on people trust or not trust. With time, you see, like in Geranos and Alicia Bergold, with time, everything is discovered. So at the beginning, people trusted her, but at the end, now she's in prison for 13 years. So we need to think in something positive when we think in business, and to try to use this tool for solving problems that cannot be solved by only one person. That's why we create a business. If I can build a car by myself, I not create a business. I just build my car and drive my car. But because I'm not able to build my car by myself and create a company, and I need a team and resources and whatever. So, well, let's continue. So a solution problem, I would say the solution oriented and adaptable. From the anthropological point of view, it will be a human being in relation, empathetic, capable of doing the best product and serving, creating a startup, but with limitations, what I commented before. So from the anthropological point of view, it's just to keep in mind who is the person, who is a human being. It's a relational being, because it's a human being in relation. Business are relationships. And it's a person who is capable, but also vulnerable. Like capable of doing a lot, but also things can go wrong and I can fail. But I need to be able to learn from this failure, okay? These are these issues. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so this I'm going to go to very quickly, but because I'm going to leave the last minutes for you to share with me the business idea, okay? And I'm seeing just the time. So what about the skills? Observation ability, creativity thinking, capable of establishing relationships, something that we have mentioned before, okay? What about the tools? The wit and the word, of course. You need the word for speaking, for making for transmit, for communicating, as you said before, your idea, your business idea. And the wit, no? So just a few questions, go. Thank you, Lina. Do you need to be an innovator to be an entrepreneur? Just a few questions, yes or not in the chat. Do you need to be an innovator to be an entrepreneur? What do you think? No. No? Yes or no? Susana say no. We agree with her? Yes. Well, no, yes, no. Yes, no, well, we are not agree. We disagree all. Preferably. Oh, that is good. That is a good answer. Yes. No. Well, you see how different we are? Yes, no, yes. If you are not, you need to have one next to you. That's a good issue. Well, we just, I will keep with one of the answers that you are giving. It might help. It might help to be an innovator. You know, if you have patents and you have discovered a new technology, it was the first idea, it was the thing that Elizabeth Holmes wants to do. So that will be good. And it might help to you to succeed because you are coming to the market with a new product and a new market, something new, completely new. But it is not necessary also to be an innovator. The point on entrepreneurship is going to, they speak in terms of me innovation, my innovation, minor innovation, in the sense that, of course, you need to come with something that is different, but it is not necessarily like a big innovation, technological innovation, something like that. It is not necessary. There must be some difference. There must be a creativity in the idea, something different that you're providing. Because if not, why people are going to buy you now instead of other companies, but not innovator like completely new. Okay, for example, well, in Spain, I'm thinking just in markets like food markets, clothes markets, you know, the traditional, like very traditional markets in which there are new companies. Or, for example, today there was the news about Inditex. I don't know if you know Inditex, Tara, this group, Spanish group, and it was one of the most successful companies, and it was speaking about the actions that are rolled. And he created a business just with a small chain in the clothes, just the traditional market. It was nothing new, it was the clothes, but he just sell in a different way. So If you don't improve, it just work business. Yes, you need to improve and make things different. But well, here I explain like that. Innovation has something to do with the tangible and manifestation of ideas. Entrepreneurship and creation of startup is about the creation. Lina, go to the next. I was reading myself. Please go to the next. Thank you. Thank you. Innovation has something to do with the tangible manifestation of novel ideas. Entrepreneurship and creation of startup is about the creation of tangible value. So it's the value. What is the value? For example, in a, I don't know, in a bar or whatever, what is the value that you're providing? Maybe there is nothing new, completely new, but there's something, maybe the time that you, the flexibility that you give to the customer to go to your shop, or maybe whatever, something that you, something that the customer identify like an additional value that he doesn't find in another customer, but not necessarily the innovation in terms of the patents, you know? So it's just to look for what is the value that I'm going to create for my customers. Okay, what is the value that I'm going to provide to my customer? Maybe not, my customer might be just like a specific segment of market, specific segment of customers, people, okay? So next question, do you need to be young to be an entrepreneur? Yes, no, in the chat. No? Okay, we'll agree in that. Perfect. No, there is no age. There is no particular age. Of course, no, there is no particular age for become an entrepreneur. But it's true that many institutions and politicians, all these, are trying to promote. No, thank you, Lina. But there are a lot of institutions and a lot of organizations that are trying to promote entrepreneurship among young people. And there are also a lot of role models of young entrepreneurs. For example, it comes to my mind Mark Zuckerberg, or this woman, Elizabeth Holmes, that she started the business when she was 19. So it seems like there are a lot of role models that can show that you are young. Of course, when you are young, it's like you have less thing to lose, or you are much risk, you can risk more or whatever. But it's not like that. So it's, you know, the powerful stereotype. But Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, all these people, Mark Zuckerberg, they were successful in the youth. But also all of them, they hired people with you know, with people older than them to, you know, to balance all the things. So in this question, we all agree. Let's go to the next question. Thank you, thank you. Go. Do you need to be an expert to be an entrepreneur? We are now asking about the expert. Do you need to be an expert? No, 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 no. No, no. So we all agree. It's not necessary to be an expert, no? No, of course, it's good that you know about what you are going to do. And it's good that you know about your product. You need to know about your product. But the truth is that you are going to be learning during the process. So you cannot stop and say, no, I need to know everything about this until I finish what all I need to know. I will not start my business. It's not like that, because you are learning during the process. So, and this was another myth about these things. Okay. And just a question. Another question. Last question. This. What do you say about entrepreneur success? Is there a magic way? What factor matter most to business success? There is a nice video. It takes 9 minutes. I'm not going to put, of course, because we don't have time. But what will be, if there is, the most important element for your success? What do you think? What factor matter most to business success? According to the study that this professor did, what do you think? I'm asking you, just please Yes, this is, you can watch in this. Thank you, Lina. Hard work, luck. This is the link. Thank you, Lina. Courage and diligence. Well, I'm going to give you just some clues. Just think about what is the most important that Francisco Javier Baena Huerta, I don't know if he saw this. He speaks about idea, human resources, business model, financial issues. Okay. So in the study that he does, at the end, just we go to the next slide, Lina. Thank you. It was timing. Francisco Javier Baena has responded well. I don't know if you saw the video, but timing, it was the most important. No team execution, no idea, no business model, even not funding. Among the all business that he studied, they say the timing. So to create the business in the right moment, at the right place, it was the most important thing to determine your success. Imagine. So this happened, for example, with many. Well, he gave us many examples. I invite you to watch a video because it takes 9 minutes more or less, and is quite illustrative of these kind of issues. So last question. Is the entrepreneurship, let's go to the following. Is the entrepreneurial process a win or a puzzle? What do you think? Just quilt or a puzzle? Quilt. More? Puzzle. A diversity in answer always. I like that. Quilt. Puzzle. Well, quilt, puzzle, quilt, puzzle. Puzzle, puzzle. Quilt. Thank you, Lina. Well, it seems that in the past, when we are talking about business and we have been teaching about business planning and trying to do all these things, we were trying to portray entrepreneurship as a puzzle. So you have this business plan with financial resources, human resources, technological resources, whatever. And then you just have all the pieces and you put all the things together. But we are just discovering that is more than a quilt, in the sense that you don't in the sense that you don't know all the pieces from the beginning, but you are just building the business in a process. It's a process that has a start, but is changing during the process because you are contacting with people, network, whatever. Exactly. There are many different solutions, and you can change your plans. That is the issue of the quilt. Okay, so of course, there must be some business that are created in terms of puzzle. For example, technologically, you know, when you have a technology that you need to develop, and engineers, for example, are more like that. No, you have these things and you need to create this goal. It's a casual way of creating a business. But there is also the other way in which you are just trying to develop an idea. And the most people that you contact with and the network, the more people that you are contacting with, your idea is changing. So as you, Ali Sakrinen Alia say, there are many different solutions, and you can take one road to another road, and you can change your price in a way, I say. So, and yes, we have 3 minutes. So I challenge you to write down, if you can, your business idea. Just go. And yes, we finish because I think that we finished. We ran out of time, but go to the following, Lina, and just 3 minutes. If you want to share with us, with me in the chat, your business idea, Let's see your business. How did you come up with the idea? Is it a service, management, consulting? Thank you, Susana. More business idea? Well, no time maybe for business idea, no? Digital solutions for equestrian entrepreneurs. Okay, so just with these two questions to create an eco-industrial park, Basim Manafa, for example, how did you come up with this idea to create an eco-industrial park? I ask all of you, you have your business idea, and ask all of you, how did you come with this idea? Why did you have this idea? Just in 3 minutes that I asked you. Just tell me a little more about that. How did you come up with that idea? For example, to create an eco-industrial park. Have you worked before in that eco-industrial park? Are you an engineer? Applications. My hobby, experience, and education come together. Perfect. Thank you so much. Paola, thank you so much. Is that what I was thinking? At the end, yes, I have just 1 minute. At the end, what we see is that when we create a business, we create a business because of the person that we are. I have these hobbies, this experience, and education, and everything comes together. The things that are going to come to my mind in terms of business has to do with who I am, what I know, and to whom I know. Just having these things in my hands, I will start to look for the ways, like a kilt, to create my business. This is what happens most of the time. I'm not going to think in I don't know, digital solutions, when for me, you see how bad I am with the technology. It will come other ideas to my mind, okay? So it's this kind of issue that who I am, to whom I know, and what I know, what is behind all, behind of the business idea that we are going to create. And now we can go to the last one. This was the effectuation causation. This was the explanation, but just go to the end and say thank you, because it's just the time. Just go to the end, and just say thank you so much. Well, I just prepared something, because if I didn't calculate by the time, very good the time, but just some ideas for you to think about your business idea. That's all. But yes, I want to say thank you, all of you. We go to the last.
Professor Nuria, if it's okay for you, I can ask to Anthony if it's okay if you would like to finish your presentation. If just like 10 minutes more.
I don't know.
Well,
Up to you.
well, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, it's just. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Lina. Just this was the most important issue. I have some questions. Well, there might be many ways for you to help to develop your business idea. The previous question is how do you come up with a business idea? And it was this issue of that at the end of the day, everything comes from who I am, what I know, to whom I know. Okay, and now to do just a primary, very preliminary market study. It was not a market study at all. It was just like a primary market research. To help you to do this primary market research, I just summarized some key issues. The first one, it was an exercise, but you can do by yourself. It's just because the first element is the entrepreneur or the team, and it's yourself, to do a self-examination on who you are, your knowledge, capability, your connections, your financial assets, self-awareness, we go to the following, Lina. Name recognition, if people know you and why, the past work experience, your passion for a particular market, because when you are an entrepreneur, you are thinking about to create a new business, is something that you need to dedicate, as you say, there 24 hours every day. So you need to be passionate with that. Otherwise, you will get frustrated, no? So your commitment, passion for particular market. Then, if you want to start, I said, find a partner. Sorry. Find a partner, because we were saying that we are not talking about entrepreneur as an individual, but as teams. So the best thing is to start with who is going to be my partner, who is going to help me in my business, inside or outside, like a customer. I'm going to create a network with him, whatever. Okay? So it could be just the second. First of all, to know myself. Second, to know my partner, to look for my partner. Third, who is your customer? If you don't have a customer, you don't have a business. So the third thing is that you just focus on your customer and try to know as much as possible about your customer. And to have this slide, just put the glasses of a customer and try to look at the world as a customer, not like an entrepreneur, but as your potential customer will see the world. So it's emphasize and adopt customer eyes, no? And try to identify if you are going to enter and begin in existing market, new market, selling to everyone, complex paying customer, who is going to pay for your customer. Then some methodologies, brainstorm to narrow. First of all, start with many ideas. But the most difficult thing for all of us is to prioritize, to choose who is the first idea that I'm going to put to work. And the second idea, because once you start with the first idea, it's going to change the rest. You are going to have limited resources for the rest of idea. So you need to narrow, and be able to prioritize. This is the biggest challenge for economists and for entrepreneurs. Identify your end user. Then you have there another questions, so you can find this in many books, but I just try to summarize some of them. Is the target? The point is that you are able to identify, as I put there, to build a personal profile that you may know. You can know who is going to be my customer, when he's going to buy, how is he, what they like, whatever. Then total addressable market, to try to determine the size of your potential market, take into account the dates of your customer. Go ahead. Deepening your customer relationship, how you are going to relate with that customer, when he's going to buy your product, whatever. Write your value proposition for the customer. Think about entrepreneurship, not like something that you need to be innovative, but focusing in the value. What is the value that you are providing to your customer? Why he's going to buy your product? What is the value that you are going to give them? Okay, this is an important question. What is it that you do better than anyone else? What are the key resources that you have? The key activities, the key processes? Okay, so let's go. This is important. Create a visual representation of your product, like an image is what you see in the, in all the publicity. Just an image, because I say also that an image is worth more than words, more than 1,000 words. Create visual representation, and then identify your 5. Yeah, go to the following. Identify your next 5, 10 customers. The most important is just, okay, you want to have all the customers, but if you start with 5 customers, it's okay. Just knowing that you are going to have 5 customers are going to buy your product and I'm going to pay for your product, because if you have a customer and they don't pay it, it's not the treasure, no? And then define your cost structure and your income structure. They are the 2 R's. Okay, customer, cost, and income. respond what are you going to sell, just in the, what are you going to sell, how are you going to sell, who is going to sell, and to whom is going to sell, how much. This will be the following, Lina. That's all. Just Google that. And just want to thank you so much for all the intervention in the chat. I will enjoy to have seen your faces and hear your voices, but I know that this kind of webinar with so much people is not possible. So thank you so much also, Anthony, for your kind permissions to still 8 minutes of your presentation.
You're welcome, Professor Nuri. It's been a pleasure listening to you. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank
Lina?
you, Professor Nuria. Thank you very much.
Okay, I think I will start. So very interesting presentation from Professor Nuri. So I hope you have enjoyed yourself, and so it's very good to continue this immediately, because this is a continuation of of that, so we can have a much holistic picture. And so in the beginning of Professor Nuri's presentation, Professor Lina has already given introduction, so I won't take the time to repeat that. So I will share my documents. Just a moment. Yeah. So I hope you can see the slide. Okay. Again, so this is who I am, and some of you already know me, and so let's see this. Okay. Okay. And my focus, it's like I said, a continuation of Professor Nuri's presentation. So I will focus on business model design, a little bit about digital business design and startup, and then again, lean startup, methodology, which is very important for you to know. And then again, which is very important, of course, monetization, monetizing a startup, and how does a startup actually survive, and to meet to meet its financial objectives, and that's what I would like to cover. So it's very much in line with the first presentation, but of course we divert a little bit to more business issues. But I would like to start, because listening to Professor Nuri, there was a big question which everyone answered. Of course, there's no one answer to to that, and I will this because of the the discussion and then answers to that was presented, the question, the relationship between entrepreneurship and innovation, and should entrepreneurs be innovators, or yes or no, or that. And I just want to take you take you back, and this is really quite interesting, because it's also about we are taking a conceptual exploration, which I don't usually do, when I talk about startup, and so that we take a conceptual exploration back to look at the concept, and so, but very important, I think, so that we get the point straight, and so we know what we are talking about, because it's very important, because this is extremely connected to startup and the success of startup. The concepts that we bring in, our perception of what things are affects what we do and the result we are able to achieve. So can you give me a sign if you can see this document on the evolution of the concept of entrepreneurship? Can you see it?
Yes, Anthony.
Okay, because I really have to know. So quickly, because I have a very limited time. So I will take you, the whole concept of entrepreneurship is an economic concept. So it came for everyone who have studied and read economics, that it is an economic concept because it became a business concept or entrepreneurial concept and a business concept. And so we are not going to go. So this is just a historical reference. And I think the most notable name, maybe we all will remember, is Joseph Schumpeter, which we always say the father of modern, entrepreneurship. And so because he's the first one who actually used the concept of innovation, to define an entrepreneurial event. And so and why specifically the concept of innovation, because he says the person who's responsible for innovating is called an entrepreneur. So but before an entrepreneur is seen as those who destroys the equilibrium, this creative destruction, isn't it? So, and then again, after that, I think before the Second World War, that concept evolved to Peter Drucker. Peter Drucker wrote a book which is still being sold today in the 30s. And he's the person that we can say is the father of modern business, because he took business, entrepreneurship, and innovation from economics and bring it into business management. So, and I think this transition becomes very important. And he's the one who actually operationalized the concept of innovation and entrepreneurship. And his concepts are very, very, very important. He says innovation is the DNA of entrepreneurship. So innovation is a specific instrument of entrepreneurship. It is the art that endows resources with a new capacity to create wealth. So innovation does not have to be technical or a thing. And we go to a more simplistic definition of that, of innovation. So, they just said the natural instinct is to think that innovation has to do with invention. That is the smallest part. The real essence of innovation is fresh thinking that connects with value creation. And I think this is the most important usable concept of innovation. Fresh thinking and value creation. And there are different types of innovation. There are those who create a technology, and those who can market, who could smell, customers' requirement, who can see the opportunity. There are different types of innovation and innovative people. And each of these, when you combine them, we see great things happen, especially startups. And if you look, most of the greatest innovators are those who, the combination of fresh thinking and value creation, they have that great innovative capacity, like Steve Jobs and many great, also Elon Musk. He didn't create all these things and so, but the fresh thinking and ability to connect, motivate people, and so they are, so these are amazing amazing type. So I want you, when you are exploring the discussion on the relationship between the two concepts, and I think this historical reference can help you, to help you find your own definition and find your own place, as an innovator or as an entrepreneur and a startup and so. And you don't have to be, if you don't create your own business, you can be entrepreneurial. I mean, we've seen that concept. You can be what is entrepreneur? Many people have created business, in their workplace. They've helped improve their companies and also totally new business model. They're responsible for creating the business model and went into partnership, with the employer. So absolutely great. And these are a few things that I see when I look at innovation and so you can see they are important factors of the success of every startup. Because in each of these, they are innovative variables which entrepreneurs employ, they know, and so entrepreneurs, they're integrators in the creation of value. So this is something. So I just wanted us to look at that, and then so when we are exploring the concept, so we know what we're talking about. So I will go back to my original focus. And please, if you have questions or you have comments, please put them on the chat. I will be very happy to hear. And unfortunately, I will be doing most of the talking, but you are always welcome to interrupt. I will definitely appreciate your contribution to the discussion, and so I also want you to be critical, of the things that we say, because this is just one point of view. Okay. So I will begin. I'm not going to start about ideas. Where does idea come from, and so, because you already have spent already 2 hours on that. So I'm going to start with the concept of startup. And this is, we hear the word, and I think this definition by Faster Capital is very, very true. That a startup is a company that's still figuring out what is their product, customer, and also how to survive financially. You are right. How to finance. So this is also something that I will use to direct my discussion, my whole presentation. So the first thing is about I will look at, it's okay about a product, because definitely when you are at the stage of a startup, it's not about idea. It's about you already have a product, or or a service concept or something. You have already packaged it, and the thing that you want to do is how to go about monetizing that idea, or that product or service idea, by creating a business, a startup. So every startup at that stage must have a product or a service. But of course, when you have a product, we have to also remember that a product does not function alone, that the product require a service also. There are so many things to do you need to build a process in which that supports the delivery of that product. But even a service, you need to build a service system. You need to build a service system. But also what you have to know, that service add values to the product. And on the right side, I showed you, this diagram on the progression of value. And so you can see different type of offerings. And then, of course, this is from Gilmore. So we have coffee here. When you have this coffee, so you serve that coffee as a service. So you can see how the product, transits from being a physical product to service. And then, of course, like Starbucks, it's not just a service, it's an experience. They offer the Starbucks experience and hire with a very strong brand promise and brand value. So you can see, and also the elevation of pricing and customer value is higher. So when you elevate the value, you also elevate revenue to the company. So we need to have a great product. We need to have a great product. And I like to take the definitions or comment from Faster Capital because they work with a lot of startups. They are a VC organization. They fund startups, and they know they have their own metrics on what to fund or how they fund and how much they fund. But I think it doesn't matter in how we go about building a great product. I think the greatest thing about building a great product is that through that product we understand a certain segment, what I can say, problem, the problem that need to be solved. Because a product is actually nothing if it does not solve a customer's problem. And a product, until it fulfills the customer product, is just a promise to do something. So any failed product it failed because they did not meet the customer requirement. And we have to remember, we can only make money through the customer. That is, if the product has appeal, has high customer benefit. And the same way we keep on talking about value proposition, we know about the value propositions. So, but value proposition, it is great. It's a concept and tool that we use in building product and services, to understand, to define the customer requirement. But the promise need to be fulfilled. I will talk about that later. So, but how do we know that, the product or service that we have is great? It is great only if it matches the need of the end customer, the defined end customer. So, and how do we do that definitions? And I think the most important thing we are using now is the concept of persona. The concept of persona. So we cannot understand the customer problem if we don't have a good definition of the customer segment. So the persona is something that we use a lot, and especially in the digital age, we need to understand the persona. We need to understand the persona. We need to. And this is quite interesting, the danger of customer insight research based on demographic figures. So, we usually, earlier, we use a lot of, demographics to define customers and then through that define their customer need. And this is a true case, but it's a research made by a research company, a marketing research company, who provide marketing research data to service providers and so they carry the research on certain of a city area, and in that research that they conducted, so they found out that in a specific mountain area of the city, They found out that over 90% of the inhabitants are single women. So based on the result from that research, different marketing programs were designed and recommendations were made because they are single women. So like ads for contraceptives, didos, clothes, restaurant, nightclubs, and dating sites and so. But on the closer examination, they found out one thing, that the area, in the question, housed one of the biggest Catholic seminary, in the country. So their data was wrong. But if they've taken persona, the buyer persona analysis, they will have found out, it's a deeper analysis from just using demographic. And this is very important, about persona. Prince Charles and Osborne, they have the same demographic characteristics, but they are totally different people. And if you want to target them, you have to target them with different, what I can say, offerings. So this is the reason why persona is very important. And then if you offer a digital service or product, you cannot use demographic. It's very important to use to use persona strategies in your definition of the customer, and through that understanding, not how they behave or consume, their consumption pattern, but you know them better. So you can define their needs properly, and then you can serve them properly. So when we are in the process of really defining, Lena, please inform me when there is a chart when there is a chart, so I can answer to it. I need to stop sharing before I can see the chart. Okay.
Yes, sure. Actually, we have a question.
Okay.
Maya.
Okay. What was the question that Maya? Let me see.
Could we please have the presentation slide? How much? Okay, she says that is not in a full screen, so that is not possible to read properly. So yeah, much better.
Okay, much better. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So, and that is why we have to have a fit, between what we offer and the customer, the customer need, and so. And there's something we use a lot, what we call the value proposition canvas. This is a very famous tool, which you can use, and so we can use it to define properly the customer need, and then their pains, and equally the gain, because sometimes they have something that is going well, so we can also improve that. We can amplify that. But it gives us a tool to properly define, the customer need. And then when we have that information on the left side, we can find out whether the gain creators here in the green, it's something about how we improve something that is already good to great. And then, when customers have pain, of course, we create pain relievers, and these pain relievers are values that actually solve certain, pressing problem. And so with that, we can package them into new products and services, and it's good for the customer, and it's good for the business, because every time you introduce a new version, a better version of your product and services, you always ask for a better price, and the customer is happy to pay. And remember, when there is a question of price, it's a question of the fit between value and cost. because price is the company's concept, not the buyer's concept. So the buyer they see cost. So when they question the price, it's a question of the relationship between value and cost. And buyers or customers do that a lot. They measure. So when the value is good, is high and well communicated to the customer, price is never the issue. And we know each of us will buy things sometimes when we really need it and we don't care about the price. And that is because we see the value. We have a high appreciation of the value. So, and of course, in the process of that, of starting up, of course, the question of targeting, because you can't serve everybody. You need to select your target. And here I have a picture from the Lean Startup approach. And so you can see two types of fishermen here. So another thing, when you are thinking about targeting is about selecting who you sell to. Who you sell to is the group of buyers who will be responsible for your revenue and who will be responsible for sustaining your business. Revenue is about sustainability. If the revenue doesn't come up, your business will dry up and you will eventually die. Or the business will eventually die. So, and I think what you do is to look for the most profitable customer. The most profitable customer, and not to target everybody. So you pick the big fishes. And that will allow you to scale. So if you look at this big picture, you can see on the right side, it's scaling. And I think in startup, you have to think always about scaling, how to scale the business at all time, from A to Z, every step of the process, scale, scale, scale. And this is what business is all about. And also, speed to the market, it's about monetization. How quickly, you can, you need to make money. And the whole Lean Startup concept, it's about going light. I hear Professor Nuri say, it's not about money. Yes, you are right. Actually in startup, we always think, oh, I need money to. If you need money, then you don't need. If you have money, then you don't need startup. So we need to usually relieve ourselves of all unnecessary burdens and processes and go light. And speak to the market doesn't mean that we blindly jump to the market. It means that we grow in the market. We go with the least minimum viable product. We develop in the market. The market, there you find the truth. The truth to your product or service, the truth to your company, the truth to who you are, and so many things. So it's good to go there. Not to wait, until you have a perfect product or you wait until the market is perfect. No. You need to be there, and develop and innovate there through testing and learning and reinventing yourself and your product and services. Because you cannot learn if you are outside of the market context. So with that, we come to the concept of I think all of you know about that minimum viable product, which is very important that we take. And it is something that it's important when you are actually making a prototype, and so you can come with it, with that in software. That is, you have a demo, which is the minimum viable product, and then you keep on, testing the product and, offering to limited users to use. Sometimes you charge, sometimes you don't charge, and then you develop a user base and then continue to iteratively, come up with new versions until, fix the bugs and everything until you start the normal targeting. So I can continue also with that. And so you can see, what we actually mean. So a product that is good enough to solve the core problem of customers, and all it has a function for that. Of course, you can see the final product is on that side. So we need to do that. And, and then I always say that product introduction should be versionized. Every company do that, especially in the high tech or software and sector, they versionize. You have now Apple introduced the fifth model, which is not so different from the former, but through the introduction of a new iPhone 15, they were able to correct some problems, on the phone, and then take new regulations into consideration and offer something new, and of course scale up. So it's important to do that. Another thing, of course, never presume. That is bad for startup. Never presume. Don't go with the presumptions. Test all assumptions. It's very important that you test all assumptions. Like I said, the truth is in the market. So don't be afraid to go there. Don't sit in the garage or in your room to presume what happens to the market. Test it. So prototyping is always very good. You can prototype anything, including something physical, softwares. I remember I'm that old that I remember that, where softwares were written on a paper, before they translate it into digital. So it is possible. So they wrote codes and all that. So it's possible to, to build prototype anywhere. And prototype is important because it allows you to visualize. When you have a prototype, you're going to speak to investors. You are going to talk to potential buyers, and so they get a feel. You give them the vision of that benefit. They can touch it, feel it, smell it, taste it, and that's absolutely wonderful. So we need to always go, and anything can be prototyped. Anything can be prototyped. If it's experience or service, you need to prototype the the service system or the blueprint or the experience, the customer journey. There are so many ways you can present prototype. You can present prototype. And also, when we are talking about product and service, we have to remember that customers have choices more than ever before. I have worked with so many companies, and they always says that, business, is never the same since, with the, with digitalization and internet and everything. Because when customers, they said, step into your shop, they have more pricing information than you have. And they have many, many, many choices. And you have to compete with that. And this is something you have to remember, that you are not just selling to, that you're selling to an informed customer base. They know. And that changes everything about how you do or should do business. And it's always very important to always ask yourself that question as a startup, that what is the customer benefit? Because if you miss that point, you can't answer that question, then you have to rethink. And I think this is well said, that market success comes from satisfied customers, not from amazing product. And customers, they buy products because they want a need satisfied or a problem solved. And I think this is a very important metric, for you to always use to measure everything that you do. And then, of course, at the end of the day, it's a question of having that competitive edge, that you have a unique selling argument. And you need to always do that, because that helps you to build, differentiation in the market. And differentiation give you a strength and also a source of revenue. You can carve a position for yourself, and you maintain that position, with those distinctive qualities that you call your unique selling argument. And it's the reason why you can continue to maintain your customer base. And also you have to remember, these days people talk about, we have a strong value proposition. We have our value proposition is better than anybody. And so it is really true. Like I mentioned at the beginning, value proposition, it's a promise. Value proposition. I mean, I think you should pull down, look at the concept. It's a promise. What is a promise if you're not believable? And what is a promise if you can't deliver? What is a promise if it cannot be fulfilled? And I think, if you see the right picture, it's White House, so you can see, from the outside, it looks fantastic, but behind that is nothing. That is not how you build value proposition or you build a brand promise. And I think a value proposition must be built inside out. It has to be, what is it? It must say and do what it says it does. And every time, when you create a product or you sell a product, you sell a service, you are selling a promise. And the promise is only fulfilled, when the customer feel, they got some benefit. The benefit that their problem was solved, or they enjoyed what was promised in that. And if you charge and you don't deliver, that's not a good thing. It's like death. And you saw some example of that was given by Professor Nuri about promises made, business promises, but they never delivered. So it's not a good way to do business. So you must always think in your startup, how is the customer's value or benefit defined, in that startup or in that business. So we have to be very specific and take the customer seriously, because it's also about how you respect your own customer. And this is something that we also use about the relationship between value proposition and the customer. That is value proposition, and then again, value realization. It affects so much about you, about the company, because you make a proposal, and that proposal, that value proposition, creates some kind of mental picture, in the customer mind, and then the customer have expectations, and that expectation, the relationship between that expectation and value realization, it's then defines your business. Because if they go through the value proposition, value expectations, and the value realization was a disappointment, then they build a new expectation, which is going to be positive or negative, and that will affect definitely your business. It will definitely affect your business or your company. Well, a few things, about creating great products or services. Of course, one good way, like we say, is to develop empathy. Empathy is about putting yourself in the shoes of the customer. Feel the customer, feel what they feel. You have to go through to really, go into the customer context. And, the prototype also is about visualizing the value proposition. You need to visualize the customers need to get a feel, a taste of the value proposition. And like we say, failure is not a bad thing. Failure is great. And another thing, this is, I think if you have time, check about Chris Zane. He's an amazing story. But what I choose here is what he says: no matter what kind of business you run, you should be in the relationship building and experience selling business. And let me say, customers are more valuable than product and services. So you should build cost. So everything you do, the product and services are something that you use to build customer base, because customer.
I'm sorry, I think you muted yourself.
Sorry,
We can't hear you.
Anthony. Yeah, you are mute, Anthony. Sorry, Anthony. We can't hear you. You are mute, and you stopped sharing your screen as well.
No, there is something. So you can see, I didn't stop. Can you see it?
No. No.
Oh,
I mean, it's like you change the
No,
mode
the
that you are
slide is up.
presenting.
I didn't do anything. So
No,
here
the
it
You
slide
says,
came
swap
back
the
up.
mode. Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna stop. And
Yeah.
share again.
Now, no. We recover. Yeah.
Okay. So you can see it?
Yes, it's perfect now. Thank you.
Okay. So please inform me if there is something, if something goes wrong or so. You need to hear me. Okay. So this is very important. I didn't start by saying selling products, selling this, and so monetizing the startup, because that is what startups they do. When they start up, is where will the money come from? They may have a product, or because startups are very different. And so they could have a prototype, not yet a product, and so, or they have a design, and they need funding to actually really get it, to set up the processes for building the actual product and service. So they start from a different way. But like I said, it's okay if we start from the level that there is already a product or a service. So many startup they do that, and I think that during startup, and I think what a very important way of monetizing. Here I'm not talking about business plan. Because usually startup they have a the product idea and service, and so they keep on building it. And the next thing they do is to build a business model. They need to design a business model. And I think a business model is the first step to commercializing or monetizing to monetizing. So, and you can see there, because they need a business model. It's very important that they defined their business model. And why is this? According to Professor T, is that business model it's how enterprise delivers value to the customer. So they have to explain, because when they have a value proposition, they have to deliver that value proposition, isn't it? So they have to realize that value proposition. And then again, also the business model shows how money will be made in that very company, because they have to meet the customer requirement, or they have to meet the business requirement. So it is actually the architecture of how that company is going to make money by delivering value to a specific customer segment. Excuse me. So you can see on the left side, so we have the value proposition where we see the product, service, and so on. And you can also see something about purpose. So you can see the society and the environment is included there. The value for the customer, value to the society, and value to the environment. And so what value is provided and to whom? So when we talk about value proposition, like I mentioned earlier, we do it in connection with a specific buyer segment. And we come to the value creation and value delivery. So this is where we do the translation. We translate everything on the left side, into value for the buyer, and how we deliver that value. So there are certain things in there like activities, resources, distribution channels, partners and suppliers, technology, product features, and so on. And the value capture is monetization, on the other side. So, we have to think about cost structure, because of course it's revenue, and what kind of revenue stream we are talking about. And then value to the environment and so. But what is also important from the point of view of business, and also if, for example, you are pitching to VCs, and so it's about root strategy, how you are going to scale the business, or your ability to scale the business over time. So this is I think one of the key elements, and I think when usually this is presented to VC, they want to see this. And they have a pretty idea about the strength of the startup or not. So this is very important. And then again, we come and we talked about the business model. I want to talk a little bit about digital business model. And the reason why I'm putting it here, because today, this is creating a lot of startup. A lot of startups. Yesterday, I listened to a presentation of a guy who started $500 or euros as an online to create an online business. And we're talking today, he has made hundreds of thousands and so in a short time, one-man business. So digital business, it's very much about lean lean business or lean startup. And this creates a lot of opportunity even for, for us or for anybody who is thinking about starting up. It creates a big opportunity for startup. And I think that we must see it as an opportunity. And even if we don't fully go into digital business, we need to also, traditional businesses have to inculcate many elements of digital business to survive, because even traditional business do operate a hybrid business model. So digital business model is very important. So the first is a global mindset. So that is not a local or local and international. That is just one global market, which is the digital market. So digital nature of goods, services should work anywhere. So which means that the boundary doesn't mean anything. And so customer comes from anywhere. They can buy a product from anywhere. So which means that when you sort of such a business, the business infrastructure must enable anyone to buy a product from anywhere. But of course, there are some issues like we had from the presentation yesterday that they can't deliver to Finland because of the competition. There are already other businesses that are delivering, to Finland, and of course the cost of also for him to deliver in Finland, because he has to pack it and everything. So there is a lot of things that works that well, he cannot target every market, but that is quite natural. So 24/7, the 7 is missing here. The 24/7 business model, you know what that means? It means that the business model is not defined by time. Is it in Europe or America or no? So you can take care of your business anytime. Like in Finland, banking services is 24/7. Insurance businesses has become 24/7 because you can log on into the site and do whatever you want. Many business, you can buy anything anywhere. You can buy it online. You can buy a TV anytime, that you want. Even hospitals, you can book for doctor's time anytime. So you can see that traditional businesses also have been adopting, digital business element. And then again, operates connected strategy, because when you are digital, you are constantly connected with your buyers. Like I said, your buyers can reach you 24/7, so you're always connected. So the strategy is very different. And for those of you, you have to explore what is connected strategy. You can Google it and look at it, and so because it's when you are connected 24/7, your business strategy have to be different. And then digital marketing activities. I was supposed to talk about growth hacking, but I didn't put it here because it's a very important tool for startups that they growth hack. Growth hacking is exploitation of digital marketing strategy to support your growth effort. Of course, digital selling is very different. It's creative and very different. And this is something that I think also, even in traditional business, you need to apply these strategies. And then you need to understand, what is it? Writing error, digital economics, and you have to understand, the economics is very different. And then of course, lean methodology. So these are things that you need to take when you work. And so to conclude on that, so a digital business model have products and services, that are largely digital, like you saw in that. So it's the first step. Is the first step. And this is just what is a summarization. The more you start taking each part of this this type of businesses, you find they are very wide. So I advise you to exploit them if you are interested, like content business, community-based business, and so so these are so many. I wouldn't just use the word per se, social media, and so online store, or many of that. Matchmaker business, where what kind of business that, and then of course promotional business, marketing business. So you need to actually open up each of these sectors, because there are so many other type of sub-business models that you can find there. But this is just a way to generally categorize these different businesses and so on. And then, of course, part of the economics is understanding the sources of money. So this is basically, how digital business, what is it? Of course, sales, through sales, they get money, but of course, subscription transaction and many, donations, customer lead and indirect models. And so they have then advertising and affiliate marketing, and of course, monetization of data is become the biggest. Of course, monetization of data. It's it's one of it's becoming the biggest. It's becoming the okay. So this is a quite interesting. We have this omnichannel business ecosystem. So omnichannel business, you have integrated value chain. So you have banks, retailers, and then ecosystem drivers, and of course, ecosystem. There are also platforms. So you have Amazon and many companies like that, and so modular producers. So PayPal, but PayPal itself, it's also a platform. So it depends what we're talking about. So it's good to look into what we are what we are talking about, and so to be able to understand the form of business better. And then, of course, in digital business, factors for differentiation that affect the performance of a value proposition: novelty, performance, differentiation, work facilitation, design, price, cost, risk, availability, and of course, quality. But you need to look at, don't just, the cost, the concept, but to look at it in the context of the digital business. Okay. This is very important. In terms of sources, that's leveraging digital to create innovative new propositions. And so you need to create innovative product. Like I said, launching product in inventions and so. And then, of course, from the customer point of view, customizing the product and service, creating new experiences, exploiting in-depth customer knowledge, and and so and then again, of course, we are now living in, because digital technologies is giving us the power, to exploit data to further personalize, experiences to end customers. So providing a marketplace platform that enables scale and broader participation from suppliers and buyers. So we see that a lot. So we see that a lot, and so many are going. They are building platforms and using that platform, to define everything, including revenue, competitiveness, and so. Okay. So Another thing about monetization and, that affects startup is understanding the difference between startup and traditional or established business. My own experience, I've already shown that that when you have a startup, have people that have a startup that are startup minded, and also you should understand that the need of a startup is very different. Everything from your product, from how you sell, and everything, because you have one big problem. Everything is new. You are new, and your product is new. Your argument is new, and that defines everything. Defines everything, everything that you do and everything that you are. Like it's stated here, the startup needs to operate in a search mode. So search mode means also learning, testing, developing, broadening your horizon and scopes. And that is very important, to learn and quickly adapting to the new information or to the new reality. So this is also the same, that selling in an existing company, reflect you have a team, that is experienced, they sell a product that is new, that is known, and your buyers are buying product that they know, and so but also, like startup, you don't have any of those. You are, like I said earlier, you are unknown provider with an unknown product. So you have to continuously, to build confidence. So startup need to build confidence, because many actually people you are talking to, the first thing they are checking out is when you are going to die. When will the business die? And that makes it difficult to sell your so you need to really find way to present yourself that you are here. So it's everything to do with your management team, the strength of your product, and of course your business model, and what you need, what you have around you to support the implementation of that business model. Another thing that is what is it, very important, from which I've also learned from the software sectors, it's about really understanding your customer base or your user base or so. And I like this very much because, when you have adopters in the early stage or who demo your product or whatever, and don't be romantic or start celebrating, because you need to do a lot of work. You need to, what we call the customer development. You need to convert those. You need to convert those customers into profitable customers, because to customers who will sustain that startup, who will help bring in the money that you need. And when you have a strong customer base, it brings a lot of things. Believability, it brings venture capital, it brings so many things. It brings the right employee to your company. It brings so many things. So, and I always tell to businesses that this is where you start using customers. Customers are those who are responsible for your revenue on a constant basis. They keep your business alive. So the early adopters or so you need to work hard to build them into customer. It's a long journey, and that is why you cannot oversimplify oversimplify the understanding of those. So you need to work hard to convert them into users, convert users into prospects, and prospects into buyers, buyers into customer, and customer into customers. So it's a hard work. And this affects your revenue and your sustainability. when you are doing that. So you need to you need to be serious and to be specific. You know, when somebody demo your product, they are not yet the customer. So you need to work hard. You need to earn that word, that relationship. And it needs work that you develop them. And this is from Finnbad, the network of venture capitalists in Finland. So why we invest in companies that meet these following criteria. You are capital efficient. You know what I mean? It means that you don't burn all your money. So they also look your burn rate, you know, how much you get and how fast you lose those money, you burn them. You are capital efficient. Your focus is on the business rather than the product. You are you are in the market now or soon. You remember we talked about it. Your team has the competencies needed to execute your business, to execute the business plan, the business model, sorry. You understand the customer problem. An early stage exit is a feasible possibility. The valuation of your company is in line with your progress. And that's very true. You know, many, valuation, I didn't talk about it because, valuating your company in front of a VC is very important. You know, you have to be careful how you evaluate and take help. You know, it shouldn't be on your business plan, on projection of figures. You know, it should be on solid data and approximation. Control by those who execute daily. You are based, of course, this is different, that they only fund Nordic countries, startup in the Nordic countries and so on. Professor Nuri said it, no one create business themselves. And I was just thinking myself that I have created 9 businesses and then 11 businesses with my students. I think only one of all this business I created alone. You know, every other business was co-founded. And and to come again about the relationship between innovation and entrepreneurship, only one of those businesses that I generated the idea and then convert that idea into technology and build different products and services and they build the software. So the rest of the businesses that I have co-founded, came from the idea came from other people. My role there was about the value creation, how to translate the value creation in those ideas, and so that is where I bring my own innovativity, understanding the opportunity and then how to convert the idea into value proposition, a strong value proposition. And it's also good to participate in business competitions. In Finland, there is a lot of them. There's a lot of business competition, and so I encourage, because these are very important source. Never underestimate these competitions and never think people will steal your idea. Many successful companies, they go there, and there is a reason why you should go. It's about selling and pitching. You learn a lot in those events. They give you feedback. You learn a lot. You improve yourself, and so it helps you to build and strengthen yourself, the startup, and build, sources of resources. You can source funding. You build networks. You find new partners. You pitch yourself to VCs, and if they don't fund you, they tell you why they're not doing that, which help you in developing the business. And then when you win financial trophy, which there's free money that you invest in the business, and I call visibility. It's a good way to monetize your business.